Yay me. Everybody, I got a new ring light the other day. So the old one is up there on the wall, and I just plugged this one in. I flipped myself around, and I'm vertical. So I'm not giving up. I don't know why there was no chat available on my PC when I went live. Maybe YouTube is having technical difficulties with the chat feature. And I think I'd have to check and see where I'm going to find somebody's live. Okay. I don't know where they're going to show up. But I've been wanting to talk about what I have recently learned with Hinduism and Wicca. As you may or may not know, I have been going to Hindu temple since about the middle of May. And it's been a process of me, learning and sharing the path that I've already been on for 20 years. And as the priest, I said to the priest one day, well, I've been practicing goddess-based religion for over 20 years. I didn't say Wicca because I am and I am not really a part of Wicca because I'm more shamanism, and shamanism is in Hinduism. So he said, well, you celebrate Halloween, October 31st. And I said, yes. And you put out fruits or something. And I said, yeah, we put out pumpkins, we carve a face, and we put a light. And he said, why is that? I said, to scare away bad spirits. And he said, that's what we've been doing. That all came before. That's very, very old. So he was trying to tell me, hello, Hinduism. Someone keeps coming and going. Hinduism. And so I was beginning to start to see the correlation, right? I'm having a love-hate relationship with the lighting here tonight. I don't know which is better. That's a little bit lighter. That's off. It's too dark. Okay. And so as I said that I wanted to, practice Sanatana Dharma. So he invited me to Saturday Hanuman Chalisa. And I'm not connected to the Monkey King yet. And so I told him I really wanted to come to celebrate Ganesha Puja, or Shiva. I really wanted to start learning about Shiva because I've been working with Ganesha for about 4 years. And so he said, okay, that's on Monday. And we will be doing Abhishekam. We do Abhishekam first. This is live. Oh my God. It's live. If anybody shows up, I'll be amazed. I would like someone to say hello because I'm trying to remember where to go to see chat conversations here on my phone. So a couple times I went on Monday, and he said, "Oh no, we are having Ganesha puja." I said, "But it's Monday." You said Shiva puja was Monday. He said, "Well, no, not tonight, because it's the third night after the onset of the full moon, and so we do Ganesha Chaturthi." I said, "Oh, okay." And then he said, "Well, then you can go out at night. If you look up, you can make a wish, and whatever you want will happen." I thought, okay. So that happened again. I realized I better look on my app, because if it's the full moon or the third day after the full moon on a Monday, then we're not going to do Shiva. I try to make it for Shiva because I was trying to learn about Shiva. So now we've just had something called Shivaratri, which is a very big celebration of Shiva, which means the unmanifest, okay, the cosmos. And that's why I did my eye makeup like this tonight, to celebrate the cosmos. And when I looked it up, I discovered that it's a celebration of the darkest night of the year in the northern hemisphere in East India. And on the darkest night of the year, of course, we have Wicca. In Wicca, we have the darkest night of the year at winter solstice here in the western hemisphere. So, I'm thinking, wow, it's a celebration of the darkest night of the year, the longest, darkest night of the year. The earth is the farthest away from the sun, and it's a dark moon. You have more access to more dark energy that evening. When you connect to that, if you have a very, very simple day, okay, and you just basically relax, or you have some type of way to sort of have dim lights, or meditate with your eyes closed, or look outside and just somehow, maybe you have stars, maybe you can project stars on the ceiling. You connect to the stars, and you connect to the cosmos. Then you have a gigantic pool of energy that you can use in the coming weeks as the moon is waxing. This happened to me a number of years ago. And when I went back to my books, I looked, and it said, if you meditate on the dark moon, you gather energy for whatever your project is in the upcoming 1 to 2 weeks under the waxing moon, or close to full. And I went, wow, because I had done a meditation, and I actually did it for 45 minutes. So Shiva is about meditation, and it's about meditating on the dark moon, really. My goal was to get an answer as to what I was going to be doing with my psychic self in the future. And I ended up going to a drum circle in my area here for several hours, and I ended up getting into a hypnagogic state. And as we were driving home, I was just sitting in the back of the van looking at the clouds, and there was little images being drawn in the clouds, one cloud after another. And these were all messages for me about me. But I couldn't really tell what the answer was about, how I was going to somehow teach or make money being who I am in the future. I ended up getting a message that was basically from my spirit guide. He showed up, letting me know he was there. I had some other information come through as well that was basically telling me what part of the galaxy I'm from. We're all seeded from different places. Now, recently, on December 30th, I did have, some energy released, but not a lot. And apparently I had gathered a lot of energy on the dark moon at the end of the year, winter solstice. And then on the wolf moon, about 2 weeks later, a tremendous thing happened when my energy was released and I was in the parking lot with my truck. And I have talked about that. All right, nobody's here. And I would really like it if somebody could show up and say something. Because this is a disaster. I hope other people find out what's going on with the live stream and why my chat wasn't coming up. But if I wanted to type something, I don't know where I would type it. Let's see. I want to be able to say hello. So I can't see any chats coming up. Hello. Would you please say hi? I want to see if the chat's working here, because it was not working on my PC. And I don't see any way for me to type hello. There we go. Thank you so much. I think it says Jordan. My eyes are getting blurry. Chat wasn't working on my PC. So I grabbed my ring light and put my phone up here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jordan. Well, I'm trying to engage with people. I'm talking about nature-based religion, but I recently learned there's so much from Hinduism that's been brought forward into other nature-based practices, I guess going over to Europe, and then, of course, coming to America in the form of Wicca. And I don't know if you caught that, but I had come across a Hindu woman who was a high priestess teaching Wicca spells, and I thought, oh, what's going on? Why is she doing that? So I thought, there's a correlation there, but I wasn't sure what it was until we just celebrated Shivaratri, which is basically our winter solstice, the darkest night of the year where you can access dark energy. Lots and lots and lots of it. And Shiva's all about meditation. So if you meditate, or just really take it easy, very, very easy and restful on that day and that night, keep the lights low. Just maybe light a candle. If you meditate and you scry at all with the candle flame, or it's actually a meditative practice, really. It's not really quite the time yet to scry. It's a time to gather energy. So, do you practice Wicca? Or are you familiar with any of this? Can you share? So it's no coincidence that I've been led to go to the Hindu temple and practice Hinduism. We do a lot of workings that correlate to the moon. Do you have any meditation practice? Or are you on a nature-based path? And do you like my Cosmos makeup? I think it took me 45 minutes. Then I got on the PC and chat wasn't working. I don't know what's going on. I'll probably have to make another video just about working with the dark moon again, and how there's actually now another time of the year that you can access an incredible amount of dark energy if you are connecting to Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, because they're just having their winter now on February 25th. And so that's why they were having it now. But I was able to celebrate that with them. And, you know, it's interesting. Oh. Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic. I primarily teach beginners. You know, there's no need for me to teach intermediate or advanced, because once you get the foundation, you are on your own spiritual growth path. And it all does start with meditation. That is what the Shiva idea is all about. So after going to temple and participating in this, I've had some lucky strokes. And you might not call it that big of a deal, but I wanted to work more. And since I've connected to Shiva, I drove to temple last week before the puja, and I slid, and I was going into the ditch. I told this story. And I called out to Shiva, oh my, Shiva, Lord Shiva, help me. Please help me. I'm all alone. I'm in the rural area. It's 10 degrees below zero or more. And some guy came out of the blue down the road and said, I have a strap, I can pull you out. And so he did. So I was only out there for about 5 minutes after I had tried on my own to get out, you know, with kitty litter, and then I called to Lord Shiva. So, yeah, celebrating, going back later and celebrating on the 25th, I said I need to work more. I really need to work more right now. And I was starting to get a feeling that I should get onto the employment app where I look for assignments sooner rather than later. There's times I've looked at 5, I've looked at 6, I've looked, you know, all different times of the day. they say you need to keep looking, and I never see anything. So I woke up from a nap, and I looked, and there was an assignment, and I took it. I did the same thing the next day and the same thing the next day, and I was able to work 3 days in a row that week. That's never happened before. And then I decided to take myself to Taco Bell after work, I think on Friday, to get the shredded chicken cantina bowl. And I'm trying to think. Someone had let me through just before I got there, just like a half a block, I think, before. And so then when somebody wanted to cut through, and get into Taco Bell, I thought, okay, I'll let them in, right? Somebody let me in, so I'll let them in. And I thought, I'm so hungry. And so they went in, and I thought, okay, now they're in front of me, and I'm so hungry, right? But I thought, that's okay. I'll survive, right? I get up to the window, and the lady says, oh, your meal was paid for by the car in front of you. What? This has never happened to me before. I mean, this hasn't happened for a very, very long time, where someone has like purchased my few items of groceries or whatever. But in this dog eat world, to me, it was just a wonderful sign that, maybe things are starting to get better. But it was so nice to be appreciated, right? And I thought, okay, I consider this another blessing. So I think there's another time of the year there that we can access and celebrate the darkest night of the year, even though, they're having it over in North India, but we're celebrating it here in the temple. So anyway, I would say that basically, if you start a practice of meditation, it's a good idea to start looking at the phases of the moon. I've talked about the moon phase app that I use. It's very simple to use. And we are connected to nature. And meditation gets us connected to our subconscious mind, which corresponds to the moon. And Shiva has that crescent moon on his head for a reason. It's a very big part of really helping to just self-development, okay? Regulating emotions, a lot of things that can assist you with meditation, developing your intuition, developing an ability to visualize maybe more. I have a dream recall course, which I'm really promoting right now. It is in the description of the box below. And I thank you very much for coming. I'm glad I was persistent. I hope to find out what the technical difficulty was with the chat on my PC, but then I always have this option. So if you will write down that I do these lives every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, whether you get the message coming up in your news feed when I make a community post or not, then you can always hop on and see if I'm live. So yeah, I think that's just a big part of my purpose, is to help people realize that meditation is extremely helpful. As a substitute teacher, I've seen it introduced into the school system, where they have it for the middle school and the high school. There's a time for mindful meditation. Why? Because it helps us regulate our emotions and really access more of our brain. We learn to develop a relaxation habit if you stick with it. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Thank you so much for engaging with me. letting me know that the chat here is working. And feel free to check out my community post and make a comment or a question, and I'll try to address it in my next live. All right? I hope that's been helpful. There are some very simple ways to meditate. In the beginning, there is a specific way you kind of need to do it. But later on, it's just second nature. So, yeah. So with that, I will just say, again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for engaging. This is what I'm looking for, why I'm being consistent, even though I'm still battling a cold. And you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And I look forward to engaging with people again next Sunday at 7 p.m. Please spread the word, share, like, and subscribe. Namaste. Blessed be. Until next time.